story begins with Jeremy recording a video message during a flight, warning anyone who finds it that something dangerous happened on the plane and that they must believe his story. The scene then returns to the moments before the flight took off. Jeremy is traveling with a young girl named Chloe, whose recorded footage from the flight is later examined in a science laboratory, along with videos from other passengers. The recordings are collected as evidence of an unknown event that occurred on board.
If you're watching this, then I don't really know what to say.
After boarding, Jeremy sits beside an elderly man. Meanwhile, another passenger named Chen covers her head with foil because she believes it will protect her from radiation, causing her friends to make fun of her. Once the plane is in the air, Chloe tries to use the restroom, but the elderly man enters before her while coughing heavily. Since the other restroom is unavailable, Chloe tries to use the first-class bathroom. A first-class passenger named Darren stops her and complains to flight attendant Emma, arguing that he paid for his seat and Chloe should not be allowed to use the restroom there. Chloe returns to the back of the plane, but the restroom remains occupied. Emma helps her find a nearby seat where she meets Jeremy. Chloe quickly shows that she is intelligent and observant, and she and Jeremy notice that the elderly man continues coughing inside the restroom. Emma knocks on the door, but there is no response for a long time. Eventually, the man comes out, overheats, and asks for aspirin. Tired of hearing his constant coughing, Jeremy decides to move to another seat.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Hey, stewardess, you know how much I paid for the privilege of this seat?
Lauren, another passenger on the plane, notices the elderly man's strange behavior as he looks out the window. When he sees something approaching the aircraft, he becomes terrified and starts warning everyone that they are in danger. Taylor, a young passenger, tries to calm him down, but the old man suddenly attacks him. Other passengers begin recording the incident as the man runs toward the cockpit and starts hitting the door. Lauren quickly moves to stop him, but the man rushes toward the plane's exit while blood comes from his mouth before collapsing on the floor.
We're all gonna die up here! We're all gonna die up here!
Emma informs the pilots about what happened, and Jeremy helps her respond because of his medical knowledge. He tries to revive the man by performing chest compressions, but the old passenger does not survive. Lauren explains that the plane is already past halfway through the journey, and air traffic control will likely tell the captain to continue toward the destination. However, conditions outside begin to change. In the cargo area, all the dogs start barking uncontrollably, loud enough for passengers in the cabin to hear, causing the co-pilot to go down and investigate. As soon as he speaks to the animals, they suddenly become quiet. Meanwhile, Jeremy notices strange, colorful lightning flashing inside the clouds.
ATC will tell the captain to continue on. But there's a dead body back here. He can't be declared dead until we land.
Jeremy tells Emma about the strange lights, and she asks if he is feeling unwell because of a headache. The crew suggests that he rest, but soon Chloe begins experiencing the same pain. Lauren questions Jeremy about whether the symptoms started after boarding and asks about the unusual lights he saw outside. Chloe confirms that she also witnessed them. Jeremy notices blood coming from Chloe's ear, and Emma realizes that he is bleeding as well. She informs the passengers that anyone feeling sick should call for assistance, causing many people to press the flight attendant button. The crew reports the situation to the captain, who decides to change the flight path, believing they may be dealing with an illness spreading among the passengers.
They were pretty colors.
Which colors?
They were flashing and bright. Kind of like fireworks, but close up.
Jeremy then notices another strange light outside his window and warns that something is approaching the plane. However, the other passengers begin doubting him, and Emma asks him to remain seated and stay calm. The pilots are later informed that military testing is taking place in their flight path. At the same time, Darren becomes aggressive again and demands to speak with the pilot, claiming that he has been attacked. Lauren intervenes and uses her taser to stop him. The pilots are informed that the military tests were canceled because they required unstable weather conditions, but the skies are unusually calm.
And moved above us.
Jeremy, to calm down.
There's something up here.
Soon after, heavy clouds begin forming around the aircraft, and the plane starts drifting off its route. The aircraft systems begin malfunctioning, and the pilot tells Emma that a Category 5 hurricane is developing directly ahead, forcing them to make an emergency landing. However, the crew loses communication with air traffic control as the electrical systems begin failing. The co-pilot returns to check the circuit breakers, and when he approaches the cargo area, the dogs notice him and become silent once again. Meanwhile, Darren convinces the passenger sitting beside him to remove his restraints, claiming that neither of them is infected.
Some of us are sick. We don't know what it is or how it transmits, so we have to stay calm.
Soon after, the passengers discover that the pilots are no longer responding from the cockpit. Lauren tells Emma she needs to investigate, but Darren stops her and accuses her of being infected. Several first-class passengers support him, but they soon begin showing signs of infection as well. Frightened, Darren locks himself inside the restroom to protect himself. At the same time, air traffic control receives reports that 2 more aircraft have disappeared from radar and radio communication. Back on the plane, Emma also sees the strange colored lights surrounding the aircraft.
We don't believe you. Do we?
Chloe watches as lightning strikes the plane, and suddenly gravity disappears, causing everything inside the cabin to float. After gravity returns, the passengers assume the plane has landed, but the situation outside remains unclear. Emma and Lauren do not recognize their location. Chen suggests that they are inside a restricted quarantine area, explaining that whatever infected the passengers is being contained to prevent it from spreading. She questions whether authorities will create a false story about the plane crashing and everyone on board dying, leaving the passengers terrified about what is happening.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
Lauren aims her taser at Chen and tries to keep everyone calm while explaining that she is a federal air marshal. Suddenly, they hear a strange, high-pitched noise coming from the elderly man's pacemaker. Jeremy realizes that the passengers are not infected and explains that an unknown frequency is affecting their bodies by disrupting electrical signals. The signal is causing their headaches, bleeding eyes, and other symptoms, and it is also responsible for the plane's communication failures. Jeremy writes a message saying that they are not sick, and the passengers place the note against the windows so people outside can see them.
Could it be strong enough to mess with the flight controls?
Well, solar storms can destroy satellites and even take down the whole goddamn internet.
However, strange noises soon come from above the aircraft, as if something is moving across the roof. The passengers then notice a large creature outside trying to open the plane's door. A strange sphere of light moves through the cabin, and Darren's restroom door opens by itself. A creature emerges and attaches itself to him. Darren escapes from the restroom and pulls Taylor away from the door, but something hidden in the smoke outside attacks Taylor. The passengers quickly put on masks to protect themselves from the smoke, while Chloe's mother loses consciousness. A large alien creature with several tentacles enters the aircraft and begins attacking the passengers. Lauren tries shooting at it, but the creature's protective shield blocks the bullets. Emma attempts to reach the cargo area, but the creature continues killing everyone inside the plane. Only a small group survives and manages to escape into the compartment beneath the cabin. As Jeremy moves toward the lower section, he sees the elderly man suddenly come back to life. The survivors turn on the ventilation system to remove the gas from their compartment. Lauren has run out of ammunition, and shortly after, Jeremy hears someone entering an access code from above.
He grabbed my taser. It's smart.
Brad quickly holds the door shut before it opens, and Jeremy uses his belt to secure it. However, a small creature has already slipped inside. The group searches the area with flashlights, trying to find the creature, but it reaches Lauren and enters through her mouth. She collapses unconscious, and Jeremy checks if she is still alive. Moments later, Lauren suddenly wakes up and reveals that she can hear the creatures inside her mind. She forces the small creature out, and it begins moving around on the floor. As the belt holding the door starts coming loose, everyone tries to escape. Lauren grabs Brad and pulls him back, leaving him to hold the creatures off. Although Brad sacrifices himself, the creatures continue reaching into the next compartment through their tentacles. Jeremy blocks the entrance with a cargo container and secures the door, hoping it will stop them. The group then realizes that the dogs in the cargo area are no longer normal animals. They have been taken over by the alien creatures, which infect living beings by entering their bodies. Needing a way out, Jeremy opens the cargo compartment door and discovers that the plane never landed. It is still suspended in the air.
They're taking us over. They get inside us and then
Is there another way in?
So we're safe down here.
No, we're not safe.
They search through the cargo area for anything useful. Jeremy remembers that Chen's group had mentioned having skydiving equipment. When Asher tries opening a box with an axe, Jeremy angrily stops him. Inside the box is the coffin containing Jeremy's deceased wife. He explains that they were camping when she suffered a severe injury that damaged a major artery, and she died before he could get help. The survivors discover the parachutes, but there are only 3 available. Jeremy decides that Chloe should use one and tells the others to take her with them while he stays behind. Chloe objects, but Jeremy assures her that he will find another way. Before they leave, he asks everyone to unlock their phones so the recordings can be used as evidence.
Jeremy, no.
There's not enough.
It's not fair.
They place the phones together in a package and prepare to throw them out of the plane, hoping someone on the ground will find them. Each survivor records a message explaining what happened. Before they can escape, Chloe hears her mother's voice coming from above and opens the door. Alien tentacles immediately enter the area and begin pulling the survivors away. Emma manages to escape while Jeremy hides inside a cargo container. As Emma falls from the aircraft, she suddenly stops in midair and sees that an alien ship is connected to the plane, pulling her back inside.
I want to sleep on, and I want to give you a great big hug.
Meanwhile, the package containing the phones reaches the ground and an emergency signal activates. Inside the plane, the small creatures enter the bodies of the dead passengers, causing them to return to life. One of the creatures also enters Jeremy's wife's coffin. Jeremy leaves the container and moves forward with an axe, but he hears his wife's voice behind him. When he turns around, he sees her moving toward him. Jeremy realizes it is not truly his wife, but the sight still affects him emotionally. He stops her hand as she reaches out toward him. The creature inside Jeremy's wife tries to infect him as well and reveals that the aliens have already reached Earth. It explains that they are spreading across the planet by taking over human bodies, allowing them to stay hidden until they are ready to fully take control. At the same time, the aircraft contacts air traffic control and reports that the health emergency has ended, claiming that only mechanical problems remain. The pilots are also under the aliens' control.
The health concerns have cleared. Repeat, no contagious issues.
Jeremy returns to the main cabin carrying an axe and finds that the surviving passengers, including Chloe, her mother, Chen, and Brad, have all been taken over. They act as if Jeremy is the danger and refuse to believe his warnings. Lauren points her taser at him, forcing Jeremy to hold the axe against Emma and demand that everyone stay away. He enters the cockpit and kills the pilots, but before he can stop the plane, the pilots have already sent a hijacking signal to air traffic control. Jeremy takes control of the aircraft and attempts to crash it, hoping to prevent the aliens from reaching Earth alive. However, the plane's automatic landing system takes over and stabilizes the aircraft. Disappointed that his plan fails, Jeremy watches as the plane lands safely. After landing, armed commandos enter the aircraft and arrest Jeremy. He tries to explain what happened, but no one believes his story. Meanwhile, the aliens successfully arrive on Earth, hidden inside human bodies, allowing them to continue their invasion without being noticed.
Okay, it's not me, it's them! It's them, I swear it!